This time in the BK, we're one-on-one with a woman who followed her heart from Siberia to Sydney in support of her husband's quest to become undisputed world boxing champion and raise her clan whilst helping others find their castle. G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brand Connect. I'm Matt Jai and we're coming to you from sunny Sydney, Australia. This week on the BK, we're catching up with a really wonderful friend of mine, Natalia. Natalia, how are you?
How are you, Matt?
I'm absolutely in, a great form at the moment. Life's good, the day's good, and it's just so nice to be, sort of coming to the end of this financial year. How's 2020 been for you?
Look, I think it's for everybody. I found that 2020 was a challenging, but I think we learned so much in 2020, maybe not like last year. And so far it's so good. And always taking the challenges it's a great as long as you can learn from the challenges and find something new in yourself.
Fight the fight, but the good fight, right?
Exactly right. Fight the fight.
Yeah, I mean, every day we wake up, is the greatest gift. I personally find within myself, I wake up and I go, wow, because when you go to bed at night, this is the thing that's always sort of puzzled me. You set the alarm. You're going to get up a certain hour and then suddenly you wake up.
And your day is yours. But the other moment, I always is, before going to the bed, I know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's my diary is always ready for tomorrow. Even sometimes can be nothing on a diary, but it's your day off, which is I'm forcing myself to say, time is day for you. It's just day off. It's nice to be busy, but sometimes is when you're not busy, you understand more in life what's most important for you.
Not many people in Australia, I think, or the world know too much about Russia. How much is discipline a Russian trait and tribute?
Look, the discipline is everything. We start from the young age. Life was tough in Russia, especially in the 90s. Thanks to this time, we build up ourselves. Here, it's much easier to live, more opportunities. In Russia, definitely population is 150 million people, which is every day fighting to have a better lifestyle. But unfortunately, still, Russia is a country don't give much opportunities. And in my case, maybe I had the one opportunity from millions girls to come to Australia in 92. And there was when they start my journey from 92.
The immigration situation back in 92, you came here with your ex-husband. Did Kostya come on an athlete visa?
In 91, Kostya became champion of the world. And in 92, the Bill Modi, his ex-promoter, him just invited him for 1 year. And there was a contract for 1 year. And in 92, we came to this country. No language, no idea, the age 19 and he was age 22. Signed up his first contract, which is, it's also the interesting. In 92, we talk about, I remember we're sitting with the promoters and the interpreter, and Kostya was sitting myself and interpreter and promoters and all the sponsors. And there was 100,000 on a table. We said, yeah, that's fine, 100,000 in 92. We just couldn't understand what some money is, 100,000. And Bill Modi said, what else, Kostya, would you like? He said, I would love to have my insurance, which is my, if I can't fight for the next 5 fights, at least my 100,000 is covered. He said, okay, that's fine. What else? He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. Said, look, at age 19, what a Russian girl wants? I said, Kostya, I would love to have a microwave. He said through the interpreter, we would love to have a microwave. The promoters looking to each other. Okay, put the microwave. What else? I said, Kostya, I would love to have a goldfish. He said, goldfish? Okay, goldfish. That's mean in 92, 2 young kids signed up contract, $100,000, microwave, and the goldfish. This is the true story.
That is probably the greatest story I've ever heard, and a contract negotiation.
But again, Matt, looking what a Russian woman is. For me, money was, of course, it's important, but it wasn't such an important tool. It's important to give to my ex-partner the atmosphere where I can definitely cook, to be a home, maybe that's a nest as well. I'm just try to understand why my mind then time I never thought about $100,000. I thought about microwave and goldfish.
Had you thought about goldfishes a lot? Were you a goldfish
I think
fan?
it's not really. It's just I think it's to have a home, sweet home. Companion because it's Australia, it's a new country. We all go through this stage where it's lonely. It's a normal because we first step in this country. We don't have a friends, we don't have a mom, we don't have a dad. No one is here, and maybe goldfish can help me to live this beautiful life.
And your first impressions of Australia before coming here, had you read the history of Australia? Did you know much about?
No, we in '92. It was 10th of January. We from Russia, from Siberia, minus 40 degrees. We landed to beautiful Sydney with the temperature plus 40 degrees. We're walking in tracksuits, in typical Russian tracksuit. Adidas, yes, there was a sponsors, and I remember I was shocked. The weather is so hot. From minus 40. Just only couple, like about 24 hours flight, and we are completely different part of the world. Australian people, amazing people. We couldn't speak English, but I remember the eyes. I remember the feelings of welcome to this country. And
had you ever felt that energy from other nationalities in the past?
Look. I never had the experience. Not really. I went to Germany, different countries, but I think it's Australian people what really makes me feel it's to be a normal people. Like
G'day,
how are you? And I remember promoters and managers and sponsors pick up us on expensive cars and driving around the Sydney. And I'm like my first time I can't understand what they're saying, but I can see it's a normal people, simple people, and they look after ourselves, look after the showing the Sydney and spending the time, valuable maybe their time, maybe they do the business, but of course Kostya was a big project in their books.
That first world title that he won, how important was that for you two as a couple? Because you obviously with him before that first world title.
He won his title when my son Tim was born. Tim was maybe 3-4 months. Of course, it was a bit challenging, but our life, it was just only one mission. It's a boxing. We came here because of to perform, and we knew what we want in life. We know where to go, and it was something is important. But same time is look, if he maybe didn't win the first his fight, the second fight will become anyway.
When you met him and you fell in love with him, obviously, and then you listened and you watched the discipline and the military-like precision that he was and is, especially in that time. Did you know he'd be world champion?
I would definitely say he was one of the leading athletes all in Russia, in 150 million people. And he's actually the second one who turned to professional boxing, because in 90s in Russia, you have to be represent only a country.
At the Olympic level?
At the Olympic, yes. And but Kostya is one of the best athletes in Russia.
He said then he goes on and wins the world title. Is it a big congratulations across the country?
But 91, when he became world champion, of course, the all Russian people start looking at him and saying, what's his next step? And led him to go to Australia. But because Russian team was such a strong team, they tried to hold him in Russia.
That makes sense.
And for us, it was, I would say definitely was escape. We escaped for a few days. We stay in Moscow, get the visa, because then time is we young kids, I'm his girlfriend, and a Russian citizenship, going to Australia for 1 year. And a Russian team all hold him there to migrate to the different country. But look, thanks God is Australia, once he landed to this country, he's become undisputed champion of the world. And I believe I was in his corner for many, many years. And Australia gave him this big title to be undisputed champion of the world.
You had to hold the 3 belts, didn't you?
3 belts that's mean IBF, WBC and WBO. That's 3 belts in the same division.
When he got the second belt, he must have been thinking, I'm so one step closer for this.
Do you know, he was an athlete. He's just like one step at a time, moving forward. I remember he never thought about who's going to fight. He always saying, just put the fights and I will fight. He was so hungry for success. His motivation was full on.
Obviously, the boxing world, it's not an everyday career path. And the people in the boxing world, there's obviously, Don Kings, and you hear about the the stories. King's got his legacy, and he also has got this sort of tainted past. Was it scary at all being a then wife?
It was a bit scary, but again, he's a Don King. A few fights, he was a promoter. Bob Arum, he was his promoter because his fights, he fought not in Australia. There was he built up his name not in Australia. Australia gave him a base of fundamental of to stay in the country, represent the country. But all fights was in US, and but that's where his challenges was, and they dictated the time, they dictate the money, they dictate everything with who he's gonna fight. Kostya was a typical Russian fighter. He said, "Yes, let's fight." Then times was look, money was of course maybe he wasn't best in to win all the money which was offered to him. But he never thought about the money. For him was a next fight. Is definitely in such as business, lots of sharks and promoters and the managers. I saw this how the guys was fighting for the money. They was eating each other. And but look, I believe he's a karma in life.
The new best friends must have been coming thick and fast at that stage,
Yeah.
And being obviously his wife, you would have had people trying to, schmooze you and, get closer to him.
Definitely. It was there was, I remember the time when these guys approached me saying, Natasha, let's speak to Kostya. Let's put another fight. Let's put the promoters in Russia. They try to approach me and put the offers, I can push him to fight. I said, but my vision, because he gave me opportunity to be a strong woman too. And after, at the end, when he lost his last fight, and I said to him, no, you're not going to fight anymore. I was very strong in my words. I said to him, you're not going to fight. The athlete is become time to retire because his energy wasn't there anymore. He's done so much in life. And some people is approaching me, but the decision was made. And on a day, he said, no, you're not going to fight. You're not going to fight. And I'm proud of Kostya because once he retired, he'll never back to the ring because what's happening with boxing, with rugby, with a different sport, people retire, but because lack of money, they come back again and fighting again, poor management, and back again. In our case, there wasn't we finished, we've done, we sealed, we shake the hands, and we walked proudly from this boxing career.
Obviously, you knew him from your young age there and the young love, and then you see a man who's beaten down by the physical sport that boxing is. Was it a sad thing to see him so tired and so worn out?
Do you know what? Honestly, I was proud when he was when he lost his fight. I remember Johnny Lewis. I walking through the airport, and I remember I was running and I hugged Johnny. I was crying from happiness. Kostya, it wasn't only my a partner. He was my mate. He was my friend. He was my business partner. For me, it's important. His life after the boxing will still continue. He's still gonna be live the normal life. And I said to Johnny, thank you so much. You stopped this fight against Ricky Hatton. And if Johnny let the Kostya to fight, of course, maybe fight will be finished badly. Kostya will be, it was a KO, but at least he walked away. Of course, lots of pain, the bruises and the blood. But look, today he is a healthy man. But look, this is the life. This is the challenge. And for us, for all women, we know our job. It's support your partner, help. My son now, it's a professional boxer too. This time, of course, definitely is less emotions. It's all much more clear. I'm always going to be in a corner. I always keep saying to my son, if mom said enough, you will stop the fight. It's only me can stop the fight. And I believe Boys is boys. Boys, they do the business, but mother is mother's choice.
That's an unbelievable gift and responsibility that you've chosen to almost dictate to your son when his career's enough. Now you're seasoned as well, because obviously people win with you. You've been their mass catalyst support. Must be a beautiful thing now to be watching your eldest son, Tim, going into a professional career and having a good record as well. He's not just going as a thug.
Do you know, mate, and I'm very proud, because once the kid's born here, I said, guys, the opportunity for you to be as Australian people, it's much like you have more opportunity than for us. We're still Russian, we're still speaking with accent, we're still different color, but you are Australian born, and be proud. Make this country much more successful. Get this country out of to Russia, to America, and say how much you're proud to be Australians, and fight for Australia. We need some like a team's role model, which is hopefully, and a strong belief, he will make us much more high level.
You're the closest person ever to Kostya during his boxing career. It doesn't matter what manager said they were there or what sparring partner or whatever. They always come. Every man goes home to their wife, and especially when you're a partner like you were. Do you see that similarities in Tim and you smile inside?
Kostya is a professional athlete, but Tim is in a business way. He born with a boxing gloves. I remember the age is 9 months. He couldn't even walk. He was crawling, and when he see the something box or something, he start boxing. I think it's like in his everything is DNA is to be a boxer. And especially with the team I've done everything not to stop him from the boxing. I said, no, you're not going to fight. You're not going to fight. He enrolled to the uni, and but after he ran away from me, I tried to catch my son, and back to the uni again. We fought like a cat and dog with my son, but I was very strong. And he said, no, mom, I'm going to fight. That's why my attitude is changed. I pulled myself backwards. And I said, okay, let him to see, because as a parents, we have to be smart. We can't force the kids to do something that's what we wish. The kids have their own destiny. So the team back to the gym, he start training, he start look after the other kids. Once he said to me, Mom, I want to fight. I said, Tim, I was digest this very strongly, and I called Tim's manager, Glenn Jennings. And I said, Glenn, only in Australia I can trust you, because you went through the boxing, all this with a Kostya. I have a new product, which is Team Tszyu. He said, oh, Natasha, of course, it's let's speak. I set up the meeting, Tim and the Glenn, myself. This was in North Sydney. And from the first 5 minutes, I understood this is going to be a deal. Glenn found something is in Tim's heart, in Tim's eyes. He wants to be a boxer. And once Glenn is accept Tim's vision, I said, okay, guys, you, Tim, Glenn gonna look after you. That means Tim is more set up as an athlete and also as a businessman as well.
And his talent, it's growing fast. I've watched the last 3 fights of his. I love the jab's got a fend to it. It must be so annoying to face, because Kostya had it. You know, it's like you're just pushing someone in the face the whole time and you're frustrating them. But then the countering and the attack and the sting of the punch, it's really legit. And it must be, something that he's obviously seen in his father, but he's adapted. But then he's got someone like Glenn.
We're all building up in life, in business, in relationship, when the people supports you. Especially when there's a son, is a child, when he feels supports, like a family supports him, the business people believes in him, of course, he will perform well. No doubt, one day he will be world champion. I can't say that he's compared to Kostya. If he can beat the Kostyas, I don't think so, because Kostya have done so much. But Tim doesn't need to be proof. Tim need to be a role model, for Australia role model, future pick out, get the kids trained and change the. It's not, what I'm saying. In life, not everyone can be a world champion, but you can be a champion in your life. Be a champion for the people, which is makes much more benefit to community.
How did you sort of see things back in the day, such as, Hollywood's interpretations of boxing, Sylvester Stallone writing Rocky, down on his money so much so he sold his own dog, at a liquor store. I think it was like for $40, and then made Rocky 4. He's there training in Siberia, I think, punching, like big carcasses in a meat locker. As an Australian, you're sitting there going, wow, is that what it was like there?
Think about Russia, even like itself, Russia, Siberia. minus 45 degrees. You still have to perform. You have to get up in the morning. You still have to do your routine, go to work, go to school, go into training. Doesn't matter what the temperature outside. You still have to do it. I think it's all this is difficult times. I think it's like a boxing and the business. It's not about to be the best in you. Be disciplined. Know your goal. You know what you want to achieve. And definitely it's no excuses. If it's excuses, excuse yourself just inside of you, it's your problem. But never blame anyone in you, if you haven't done or it's your mistakes. And I think it's a discipline, and all this difficult time is build up the personality.
Boxing itself, I know the times that I go back to it, it is like a phoenix. I do feel regenerated. Suddenly my eyes, my skin, my soul. It's such an incredible sport. Your whole family, has your daughter been ever interested in it, or?
No, my second boy, Nikita, he is also 4 times Australian champion in junior. Nikita's time was when he was age, I think it's 14, 13. He traveled around the world. He went to America, he went to England as well with his boxing, and also they play soccer. But one day he said to his mom, I want to be architect. And I said, beautiful, because his mom is in a real estate and son to be an architect. That's a nice company. And my daughter, she's going to be in a medicine.
One thing about boxing is, your hands do get sore, and you may as well wrap them in ice and drink turmeric every day or something like that if you're going to box. So it must be good to see the other kids, finding their passions, because the discipline that Nikita would have got from 4-time Aussie champ, that's not an easy feat. Was the pressure on him, and what sort of expectations or feeling do you think Kostya, instilled in the boys, when he saw them winning and doing great things? Was he ringing? Because he lives in Russia, right?
Of course, Kostya is very proud, but I remember the Kostya said Kostya's life, he back to Russia is full time. And I think Kostya he would never be able to watch the boys when they're fighting, because I think he was only on one fight of team's fight. He kind of the guy is always can have a fear, because if he can't help, what's gonna happen to my son? Because I remember he said to me, he said, I can't understand how you can watch my fight, because once he's on the ring, he's fighting, he's controlling, he's got his boxing gloves, that's his place. But to watch himself outside, he said, I can't be able to watch myself. That means his idea he was gonna be very emotional, because he can't help or maybe correct the son or the boxer. And to be as a trainer, I don't think so he's going to be a good trainer too, because in training he will kill this person mentally, and he will never back to the boxing again.
I've heard from yourself and read, and I actually hear it from Tim. He was the most disciplined person. Yeah. I go to these things myself, where suddenly I'll say to my wife, no alcohol, no coffee, no sugar, no this and that. And I do it for months. And people go, how do you strip everything away? And I'm like, because I got to do it. What sort of level of commitment was Kostya at?
Level of commitment was 100%. There was no excuses. We all was staying on a diet. We never celebrate the birthdays. We never celebrate the New Year's Eve. We never celebrate the Christmas. On a Christmas day, we used to go for a run. Can't say that something is miserable. Life was beautiful, amazing. Remember this life, because to be in kind of the discipline not many people can do. Maybe it's so easy to have a drink and parties, but to be in a discipline, which is experience what I had, some people will never dream about this experience. And I believe is that it was a good time. We all build up as a person, as individuals, every person in a family. And thank you to this beautiful gentleman, Kostya Tszyu.
The chapter of your life, the Natasha or Natalia book itself, you've gone on then to raise the kids in Australia, become a full-time mum, and then career, right?
When I migrated to this country, I went to just a simple English course, and after I went to computer course. This was in the 90s, and I finished my diploma in accounting, and after I finished management as well, and after I found the interest in real estate. Real estate is kind of fight and win. And we had a few properties, and myself, I'm an investor as well. And I believe Australia we're not selling properties, we're selling the lifestyle. Australia definitely give much more opportunities. Beautiful schools, beautiful weather, beautiful people. We have everything here. That means we're selling Australia with love.
And beautiful goldfish.
And a beautiful goldfish.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time of the show, I like to sort of cast a bit of a shout out to, the audience and the people. But this week of the show, I'd like to shout out to Kostya Tszyu. Mate, I remember you came to Australia, and we all had the privilege to watch you fight and go on to greatness. Thank you for giving us that amazing visual chapter and experience of making us feel as Australians that we had a great athlete to support and love and follow. Congratulations on an amazing career, mate. And Natasha, who would you like to give your shout out to?
Definitely, I would love to say to my family, thank you so much, my beautiful kids. And it's so much going to happen in our life. And I believe as a family, we holding hands together and we stay strong together. And always remember, for each of my family, I'm always in your corner with my love.
Being that leader and role model, how much is the single motherhood a huge responsibility compared to the dual parent raising?
Do you know, Matt, I never compare myself as a single or married. Every woman needs to know their own identity. They know their own discipline. They know their own rules. And I never said I was single mother. I never put this sentence of single mother. Yes, I was single mother, but my kids is much stronger than maybe sometimes when there's two parents involved and become much more stronger personalities. Look, I would say to every ladies who is a single mothers, this is not the best, not like something it's happening to be a single. It's bad. It's good. It's still. You have to learn to adjust in life. You have to learn to live the new life. Never blame partners. Never blame anyone in your life. If you've done something wrong, just yourself. And always move forward. Move forward. Find something as a person. Of course, business is important. But find your own hobbies. Find yourself. What's your destiny in life? Why you living today, what's most important, what you can give to the people. And that is my message to the moms who is maybe single, look after the kids and maybe crying, they hate their husbands. Never respect your partners. We don't know what's happening in life, which way we're going to go, left or right.
The people that are struggling in relationships, that aren't finding their truth, that are absolutely hurting themselves and others, do you think it's a wiser move to walk away and grow and become a better person?
Do you know, definitely. My relationship was 17 years. When we walked away, we just shake the hands. And I believe don't waste your time because there's lots of other opportunities, lots of other people in life. Sometimes it's better to maybe stay alone and understand what's for you. And it's not about, I'm saying to the women, it's not about partner make you happy or partner can help you financially. It's not. If you love yourself, if you love your family, the people will love you too. And definitely I would suggest if it's it's not good relationship and you staying together as for the kids, it's wrong decision.
It's not the 1980s, because divorce back then was like, oh my God, your parents are divorced. This is the worst thing ever. How are the kids going to deal with it? These days, kids adjust.
But mate, this should be like this. And maybe this is maybe I'm kind of maybe say crazy, but I'm saying is once you get married, you're celebrating the marriage and the weddings. Once you get divorced, celebrate too.
When I had my divorce, and I've had the divorce. Afterwards, when I started like partying a bit, I actually thought, imagine having a company called Divorce Party.
Divorce party.
Where you took people around the world. They end up in Miami at the end, getting lipo and the tailor and that. And then they fly back to Australia and go, that was unbelievable. I partied for 6 months. How important do you think is it for people just to own their own life? And,
it's important because our emotions will affect our kids as well too. If the people who just get divorced and hate each other, husband, like an ex-husband and ex-wife, they're not talking to each other, always sending wrong messages. We have kids. The kids will affect of the definitely relationship. But once the parents, they stay positive and respect the ex-partners, will be definitely continue for the kids. They will follow you, the mom and dad's their life. And I think it's best for once you get divorced, stay with respect.
You're a woman who fights a fair fight, and there's no cheating in you. I can see it and I know it. Your son's got a pretty big fight coming up with Jeff Horn. Do you end up wanting to watch fight tapes of him and think, how's my son going to go against him? Or it's not your fight, it's your son's fight?
Teams, how many? We had 14 fights, and always each fight I was there in his corner. I hate the boxing, but now I love the boxing. And I think I'm so proud when even I know my son is having a pain and hard to see the bruises. But you know what? I kind of become strong personality, and I'm saying it's fine. He's a man, and I'm proud. He's not like sitting or just walking in the clubs and pubs. He's a real fighter, and doesn't matter what your kids is doing, the boxing or the business, as long as they are doing something. Because today, lots of people in life, they lost themselves. They doesn't know what to do. And they have maybe with what we have in Australia, but they have empty inside. And this it's a bit dangerous. Like it's a bit strange, like for with everything what we have, people doesn't know what they want in life.
Does it puzzle you then? Australia's got this huge suicide problem and huge depression problem. Being a Russian woman, that minus 45 degrees, you got to pull your ass out of bed and get to work. And for those who don't know, jump on Google, look at Russia. Probably one of the most beautiful countries on the planet. You come to Australia, and Australia is the greatest place on the planet that I've been. I'm not being patriotic, but I'm just being fair. We're pretty sane, logical people. But then there's this huge depression scenario. Does that blow you away?
I think it's because we're not appreciating what we have. We kind of people is laid back. We don't need to be much dressed up. We don't need, honestly, like if I'm looking in the lifestyle here, you don't need to be nice, expensive clothes. You don't need to nice, expensive cars. You can live the simple life. But once you live them like a easy life, you become like, it's no much motivations. Motivations needs to come from something inside. They have to be drive you something. But everyone is their own feelings of driving is like how much you can drive, how much you can push yourself. Why are we saying some people successful, some people it's not successful? But at the end of the day, Matt, we all have same opportunities. You, me, or the other ones. We all have same opportunities, but we can see different opportunities, different colors in opportunities.
Would you say that self-discipline and self-respect, they're two things that I could really feel from what you were saying there, because your discipline will make you want to dress better, will make you want to be more respectful of others and respectful of what God or you were born with. Because, let's face it, it doesn't matter what religion you believe in or if you're an atheist and you believe in none, you and I are the same, but obviously different genders, Is that, do you think, the thing that people are forgetting about, which is that massive self-discipline?
Definitely, but some people never had a discipline. Like, they never experienced the discipline because they how they grow up. But where the discipline come from? Discipline come from the not from the good time. Like, when is the people is out of the comfort zone. Once you're out of the comfort zone, you have to learn how to survive. For example, we all immigrants. Immigrants, typical immigrants. Once you immigrate to this country, walking, we can't understand the language. Looking to the people, we can't understand what they're saying. But you're reading the eyes, you're reading the manners, you're looking the hands, you're looking the body language. You find the way how to be. You have no options, but you have to understand what this person's saying to you. It's like after you slowly back to the routine is how to survive. Some people that like living the normal life is you don't need this. Everything is so easy. That's why maybe we such as immigrants, we're always pushing so hard to achieve the better result.
Definitely foreigners, and it happened in America, make a country.
Yeah, make a country. That's why Australia is because of us foreigners. We bring the Chinese, the Korean people, Macedonian, Greek, Lebanese. We all make a beautiful country. We all bring our cultural, but at the same time we always going to be proud. Some of the social media saying, why you so much? You're saying, yes, I love Australia so much. This is my country. I will never leave the country, Australia. But same time I'm very proud. I'm Russian heritage, Russian background, and all my family back to Russia. And for me, it's very important to know what's happening in Russia, who is going to be next election of the president, and everything is I follow all the all the news in my country of Russia.
Do you think Putin has the chance to be voted out ever?
That's what they're doing. That's what he wants. And yesterday is talking to my family, which is I don't know. That's my mom. She's old generation. She loves Putin. She loves Putin. She's because the people wants to trust to someone but younger people is more question mark. But I can see Putin is a big leader. He is definitely the leader. He is definitely a politician. He's not the businessman. He is a politician. But what politicians they're doing, I don't think so. He wants to be like the people saying, oh, he's robbed the country. He's $1 million. Wherever he's $1 million, he never showed this $1 million. He is a man who is leading 150 million people. And that's a big job for him. And he's definitely will be in the history of as one of the greatest leaders in Russia.
I'd like to see Scott Morrison do his own calendar, because I was seeing Putin do his own calendar. It'd be interesting seeing Scotty Morrison, out there down at Bells Beach, in Speedos or something like that. Have you seen the Putin calendars?
No.
He does his own calendar.
But that's again, he kind of the guy. He's from KGB. And again, the KGB comes from the discipline, the whole army, the kind of it's all army background.
I can imagine, as an Australian and someone who loves film, because I've written a couple of films, I haven't made them, but I love film and I understand the science. It's like boxing. If I sit down and watch a fight with your family, I'm sure that the science they know about boxing, even though I've boxed, is nowhere near what I'll know. But film, I understand. I can have a watch there and go, okay, this is going to happen. 12th minute, bang, the catalyst is going to happen. Then there's going to be, the next plot point. It's a plot point summary that makes a film. But, films are classically, Russians in films are, the James Bond films, the spy who loved me. How gnarly was that for you? Were you thinking, are we all spies, Or?
But I think it's that's a lot of life. Matt, this is everything is truth. That's how the Russia is. In 90s, we're lucky. The Russia was most difficult time to go through these transactions, but we made it. Of course, now it's more like people settle, more easy. But in our time, there was mafia was everywhere. Mafia was controlling the cities. We never belong to ourselves. Back to the school. We studied not to be as an individual, to be a group of people. We have to be exactly the same. We need to be exactly the same haircut, the same dressed up. We all used to be the same clothes. We like a all group of people is exactly the same. We have to speak exactly the same. And how the system was in Russia. Look, of course, the saying in then time is in Soviet Union time. There was lots of great athletics people like gymnastics, the boxing, and because Russia invests so much money to the athletes.
To hear quite a bit about Russia from you today, it's expanded my thinking on it and my knowledge. I'm super grateful for that. The fighting game, it's changed a lot. Khabib, he's a Russian. MMA, it's totally different to what your son does, your ex-husband has done. How do you find the MMA when you watch it?
Oh, look, it's difficult. I think it's I can't say that's a great sport, which is invented, but again, is more for entertainment because the people loves to see why the people love to watch why the people paying the money, because they love blood and they love pain. It's how the humans we are. They're all watching because of this, and I think it's in this kind of sport. Boxing is still you have to be more protected, and but kind of this sport is more. It's the punch comes from everywhere, and of course it's more pain and more blood. That's why sports become respectful, but I do not support this sport. I believe it's too dangerous because we live in only once in life. Let's to be fight professionally, fight to be shake the hands before the fight and finish the fight to shake the hands, but not to kill each other. But in MMA, it is more like a killing instinct.
Yeah, I mean, Dana White, he certainly came out with a format and a formula, and essentially what you're saying about the blood and violence, a newsworthy sport, because if you think about what the news does, the news, front of the head, the headlines is always the carnage, the love isn't really there. The greatest thing about boxing, I always believed, was the respect and the stand up and the no low blows. And obviously, a certain fighter will, be a little bit, Horn does it. I mean, not the low blows, but Horn's unorthodox.
Yeah.
They're tough fighters, The MMA stuff, I think it's interesting, to see where it's going to go. McGregor retired. Do you think that's just another big media spin?
But look, he will come back again. But that's what I remember said is boxing is the same as they're looking for once is a poor management and the money is gone. And for these fighters, maybe to get a couple millions for one fight, and they will never retire, but they will retire they will fight till to the end. Once the body is fully destroyed and they finish the fighting, which is a sport, which is a set for the sports, and also looking from we as a parents, we always love to see our kids to be putting in the kids gymnastics, soccer, boxing, any sports, but it's nice maybe to have a career. But also in Australia, we have to think about is retirements after when these professional athletes finish their career. I don't know, I put my attention to the rugby players, which is also in Australia. That's lots of social media they're doing is such as not good profile, but same time with other mothers, we're always pushing our kids to play sport. And
the school to try.
And the school, yeah, exactly. But we need what's as a community definitely should be something is more attention to the sports people once they finish the professional career. What's next stage? Where they're gonna go?
Real estate's going through a new stage at the moment as well. It's really changed, I guess, with Corona. From what I understand, the units, the apartments, aren't doing as well as freehold titles. Where do you sort of see the transactions going on in the next 12, 18 months in Australia?
Look, always saying Australia is a country which is long-term investment, and doesn't matter what's happening now. If you buying the property now in 4 or 5 years' time, they're still going to be recovered. If you buying only for 12 months, that's definitely maybe that's a challenge where you can maybe not get the price, but long-term investment is still okay. And same time, if you buy your own home to live, it's like you need to live somewhere. This is you can't put the value is if the property is going to be dropped in a price, but you have to live today. I'm looking for the next 12 months is, for some people, we will definitely will be challenged, but long-term investment is always going to be great in Australia.
Do you think we've even felt the ripple effect of what's happened with COVID-19?
Look, is maybe the prices is back to maybe 2016, like what's current the prices now, but this is not going to be for long time. I think it's maybe for the next 12 months, and the market will be back to again to the.
And you know, from a person in the real estate game, you've done a lot of transactions. From what I understand personally, how fun is it? I mean, how much thrill do you get in buying and selling?
Look, the real estate is same like a boxing, punch, and salt. Like it's the same. Look, I'm from another side, which is I'm helping the buyers as well to buy the property. Buying the property, it's also involved emotional. When you're selling, it's like you're selling again. It's emotions involved. But when you're buying, it's where you're making the money. You're not making the money from selling the property. You're making the money from to buy the property. So I'm on a site which is helping the buyers to find the right property, to make sure this is the price done well, to make sure this property in good conditions, and prepare the due diligence for the property, get finance involved, get solicitor to review the contract, and to make sure this is my client will get the benefit in a long-term investment.
Would you say an auction is a TKO and an off-market? You know, is it a knockout?
I think it's always look. It's all about negotiable. You can negotiate before the auction,
and it's a good win, right? You must feel so proud, like when you do a good deal.
But of course, it's a win-win situation. Is like when you negotiate, when we've done the deal, and when these clients are happy with moving with a family, it's so beautiful feeling, helping to someone to achieve the dream. Because buying the property is it's like everyone is. If you speak to everyone, everyone love to have their own property, but not everyone have willingness to push themselves, is a bit scared to buy. But usually what I'll do, I hold the hands. It's a simple walking through this procedure, walking through the stage where is what do you want, what kind of property, what do you want to see from your windows. It's a simple procedure, and holding the hands from the beginning to the end. And
yourself, you know, the ability to start that journey, that first, oh my God, I'm going to own a property. Where do people start? Do they start by getting $1 in their hand and seeing that can multiply through smart investing? Or, you know, these days, obviously, property prices aren't what they were in the 90s or the 2000s. It's another whole world. Where do you think people start the game now?
Definitely, the people need to start the game is need to know the plan. Plan in life. What do you want in life? Like for the next 12 months, next 2 years, 3 years, and 5 and 10 years is a plan. Remember I said at the beginning, when I came to this country, I said it's like I was 100,000 on a deal, but I want a microwave and I want a goldfish. It's important, like microwave to have then in 90s, the microwave in Russia was the first maybe microwave, and I just only heard about the microwave. But it's turning to the microwave today it's a simple. It's your house, it's your home, it's your sweet home where you feel comfortable, when you feel secure. If you have these feelings, if you want to live the life which is maybe you don't need to mention, but something you feel the home, when you back home, you feel relaxed. If you have this idea, so next stage, you're just moving to find how much you can afford it. What's your strategy? How much you can buy the property? You got the price, and after, let's shop around. And that's where I can help you to find the right direction, right property, and for the right price.
What's your favourite suburb, do you think, in Sydney? Where do you love? What sort of gets you going?
I love Sydney so much. Doesn't matter which area you live. Like, I believe is even I love Cronulla so much. I love Cronulla. I love, of course, eastern suburbs is eastern suburbs. Everyone the eastern suburbs. But inner west also nice. I can't say that is I spend much time is north of Sydney, but more south, inner west, and the eastern suburbs.
If you do that, you don't have to pay the bridge toll either to come
Exactly.
over, right? You know, or go back, I should say.
Yeah.
You don't pay on the way over the bridge; it's the way back.
Way back
for you. You know,
it's true.
You need to get someone to give you a couple of dollars for a bridge toll. You know, these days they go up, but you know, obviously, Natasha, you know, it's incredible talking to you. Where do people find out a little bit more about you and how to get in contact with you if they want to start talking real estate?
My number is 0405 199 199. Just give me a call and I will answer your question.
You know, that's one of the greatest things with real estate agents. They, you know, put their numbers on the signboards. There is, you know, the interesting thing, you know, and this is one thing I was thinking about before when, before we sort of sign out, but you're mentioning Russia, you know, you had to be a carbon copy of everyone back in the day, and you knew that the KGB had their ear on everyone. Does it freak you out? Well, not freak you out. Does it make you think, oh, come on, people, when everyone starts going, the privacy laws in Australia these days, you know, the government might be listening in. I mean, you'd have to be absolutely silly to think that they don't listen in on what we do. You know what I mean? Because you've grown up with it, right?
Yeah, I've grown up with this. Look, in Australia is... I feel like here we have lots of different nationalities, but do you know what? You know, Matt, I feel like we live in one country. We're all brothers and sisters. I can walk to any person to here, say, hi, how are you? And the people always is a welcome. And back to the Soviet Union time, of course, people like Russian people, no one talk too much each other on the street. Is like everyone is themselves. And because of the situation, how the people lives in life is more like a danger to speak to some stranger. We blessed to live in this country. We have friends all around this, different colors, different accent, different language, different religion. But we all we are one.
That's amazing, isn't it? It's such a good feeling. The I am, you are, we are Australia.
We are Australia. And I'm saying with my Russian accent, I'm so proud to be Australian woman.
Well, I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to this wonderful lady.
Thank you, Matt.
Oh, it's fantastic. And, you know, as I always sort of feel at the end of a show, I'm so much richer from having the chance to sit down and connect with a lady or a bloke over a good conversation. And Natalia Tszyu. Now, Tszyu is, you know, like Taronga, isn't it?
Yeah,
so people understand it.
Yeah, Natalia Tszyu.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to contact Natalia Tszyu, you know the number. She gave it to you. My name's Matt Jai. This has been another fun and exhilarating episode of the Brand Connect. Came out of it without a black eye, which I'm, you know, really grateful for. And the greatest thing that, you know, you heard on the show today is love yourself. Love those who you love, and if you don't love them, find the honesty within yourself to tell them and move on with your life, because it is one hell of an amazing ticket to the greatest theme park you'll ever know. It's called life. I'm Matt Jai, and this has been the Brand Connect.
BK was proudly brought to you by Brand Konnects, made possible by the support of Paulie B, Future Signage, and others. Many thanks to our special guest and you, our loyal followers. Catch you next time on the BK.